Welcome to page 3 of the chart. Now, the Byzantine Empire, after the split with the West over the issue of should there be yeast in bread, began a long period of decline. Late in the 11th century, the Seljuk Turks made inroads into Asia Minor, cutting off great tax revenue for the empire. And you can see that here. This area here was of great importance to the Byzantine Empire. As the Turks made advances in, ever increasingly they began to shrink the scope, the size, and wealth of the Byzantine Empire. Now, it is important to note that there was a major battle, Manzikert, in 1071, that the overwhelming larger Byzantine army was defeated. Also, Slavic kingdoms developed in the Balkans, and you can see that here as they start developing up in this area here, putting pressure on the northern part of the Byzantine Empire. But most important, the Italian city-states of Venice and Florence began to develop in trade in response to the ever-increasing knowledge Europeans had from the Crusades of the Muslim world. And as they began to rival Byzantine traders and built navies to rival that of Byzantium, Byzantium began to feel the crunch economically from a loss of tax revenue, loss of lands to the north, and ever-increasing competition with the Italian city-states. Now, as time went on and Byzantine began to show signs of serious weakness, they began to appeal to the West. But the West ignored their cry for help. Again, the West did not view Byzantium very favorable from the church split that occurred in 1054. And it is ironic that in one crusade in 1204, the West turned against the Byzantine Empire, and Venetian took Constantinople, but could not hold it. The Byzantine Empire will last 2 more centuries. So Venice, again, armies from Venice did take Constantinople. Again, they couldn't hold it, but it shows the West's disdain, and also the Western powers are beginning to grow in power, rivaling that of the East and even surpassing them. Then in 1453, a powerful Turkish sultan with artillery, cannons from the West, surrounded Constantinople and took it over. Again, it is over. Byzantium is finished as an empire. Now, one thing that I do want you to note, the spread of civilization and Christianity in Eastern Europe. We're going to switch gears here and talk about how Byzantium influenced this area of Eastern Europe and eventually up to Russia. In 864, Byzantine sent missionaries and converted most people in the Balkans. They fell in Czechoslovakia to the Roman Catholics, but many Greek Orthodox Christians were located down in this area here. Now, Cyril and Methodius will go to this area and they will encounter the Slavic people. There they will develop the Cyrillic alphabet in which to teach the Slavic people Eastern Orthodox Christianity. This Cyrillic alphabet is going to stay and will actually become the alphabet of the Russians. Local languages were also allowed in Orthodox churches, not like the Catholics who favored only Latin. The east central borderlands of Czech, Poland, and others were Catholic, again up here, causing competition between the two branches of Christianity. So you had Greek Orthodox down here and Roman Catholic up here in Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe peoples like the Poles, the Czechs, and the Lithuanians are also beginning to develop identities themselves. It is important to note that during this period of time, 800 to 1200 CE, 800 to 1200 CE, Eastern Europe is more advanced than the West in technology. Now, one important note that I have highlighted here is massive amounts of Jews will influx this area of the empire, basically fleeing persecution from both the hands of the Muslims and Western Europeans. This will be very important for later on in the Holocaust, especially as thousands and thousands of them settle in what will become Poland. Now, the emergence of Kiev and Rus. Number one, Slavic people had immigrated into this area beginning in the Classical Age. They mixed with the Bulgarians who were here. Now, their system was tribal, and the religion was very animistic, and we've seen those before. During the 6th and 7th centuries, Scandinavians moved from up north and began to build trading routes with the Byzantine Empire. Kiev, which was located here, was founded during this period of time. Rurik was one of the very first kings of this area along these trading routes. Now, the Scandinavians had red hair, and from their red hair we probably get the name Rus or Russia. And again, in time, the Scandinavians will diminish and the Slavic people will begin to take over as you see a Russian identity begin.